Let me get these three quickies out on the table. I just thought of it right off the bat. First off, the Giants, now I might be wrong, but I don't think the Giants are trading Odell Beckham. And they're certainly not trading him to the Rams, all right? They're not going to do him a favor and send him to L.A. I can write that down. First off, the Rams don't have a high pick to give him. And, they're not going to do him a favor by sending him to the Rams. I mean, they say, you know what? You go to Buffalo. I mean, they are not going to. I mean, the idea that the Giants are going to trade a guy because he wants to be traded and doesn't want to be part of minicamp, he wants a huge new contract, and he wants to be paid. When the Giants have no requirement to pay him until after next year, I mean, the idea that the Giants say, you know what, Odell, that's fine. Let's send you to the L.A. You can play in Hollywood, play in the good weather, L.A. Coliseum, and we'll take their 26th pick back first round. I mean, come on, guys. Geez, why? Because Odell Beckham told some Ram guys he'd love to be part of the team. They got Goff. They got the running back Gurley. I mean, all of a sudden he's going to run to L.A. I mean, come on. That's not fair. I understand that we want to make sure Beckham is taken care of and, hold him by the hand. But if the Giants do trade him, they're going to make sure they get a very good draft pick back, Buffalo, number 12, and something else. Maybe another draft pick back, first round, before they sit there and shift him to L.A. So he's happy, raring to go, and they get the 26th pick back. And that's not going to happen. So let's put that on the table right out of the gate. That's the first thing. Second thing is, and I know Steve Torrey spent all day today. I don't expect Danny Cannell to break down the Mariner bullpen, but I can't sit there and do hour upon hour on, targeting. I mean, is that what we were doing here today on the radio? Even Eddie walked in perplexed. I don't get that. I mean, let's see what occurs. Let's see how they rule it. Let's see, in fact, where we stand in September when the games count, and then we can assess what the targeting situation is a little more closely. They haven't specifically explained it, so to guess it and to say they're making football soft again and they're doing this, they're doing that, they're taking it away, it's not the same, come on, stop, please. I can't listen to that. I mean, if they want to, see, football is in a damned if they do, damned if they don't place. If they sit there and they let you kill each other, well, then they get sued by former players who complain about being concussed, and they get destroyed everywhere you turn around by the media for not taking care of the concussion and the, having no issues in CTE and all those other things. So they're dead there. And then if they go out there and do the other thing and try to make the game as safe as possible and make sure that people don't get decapitated while they play, well, then they're soft. Well, they've taken football away. They made it, they're catering to youth football. So they're damned that they have no way to go with this. So if they do what they can to curtail the egregious violence that sometimes in the NFL, which might be the proper thing to do. They get all the youth moms okay, and they get them excited about it. They get pounded by the serious football fan who wants to see less flags, not more. Who doesn't want to see the quarterback never get pounded for thinks there's too many late hits with the quarterback, and in fact, wants the receiver to get punished over the middle. This is old-time football. So what are they supposed to do? So I guess, the mistake that they made here is indicate that they're going to do something about targeting without specifically telling us what they were going to do. Now, Goodell told us at the Super Bowl that they were going to look at the catch and the catch rule, and he kind of opened it up there, and, eventually in 6 weeks later, they have figured out a way to let we all know what's a catch and what isn't a catch. So it seems like they handled that well, but from what I can gather now, there's a big uproar, and I didn't pay attention to it. I will not pay attention to this. I'll be very into the draft. I know exactly what's going on with the draft with these teams. I know who's got what. I know about the trades. I've seen every quarterback. I haven't seen Josh Allen much, but I saw all the quarterbacks play. I know how good Berkeley is. I'm aware of the draft. That's what I care about right now. Not whether we're going to have a specified targeting foul, 15 yards and disqualification in the month of September. And I understand that gets calls on a Wednesday in March. All right. I understand, Steve and Danny and everybody on Evan, don't want to sit there and break down the over-under number of the Braves. All right? I get it. They don't want to sit there and talk about the NL Central with Babchek. A, Babchek doesn't know who's in the NL Central, number one. And B, Steve is, and I know this for a fact, Steve is very, very concerned right now of how much baseball, he's dying to chop on it and scream and yell and do baseball until the cows come home. It's Yankees, for crying out loud. No Bird, Judge is not leading off. Here come the Blue Jays in game one. And he's dying to delve into it and do hour upon hour upon hour about baseball. But he figures he better do the football to make sure Danny's in the mix, who's obviously doing a show 5 5,000 miles away. So right now, you have major issues. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure Beckham gets traded. We'll spend 8 hours breaking down his opportunity to play for the Rams, which is never going to happen. That's number one. And because obviously the Rams, they're not going to make Beckham happy by sending him to the Rams because he wants to play in L.A. and be Hollywood. I can do that. I can do that. Giants aren't trading him anyway. I'd be very, very surprised if they did. I really would. Now, Jason Pierre-Paul, all right, they got rid of him. He's not Beckham. All right, Beckham's the top 5 players in the league, Beckham. Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, forget the quarterbacks. He's the top 5 players in the NFL. I mean, Julio Jones. I mean, there's not that many of them. He's one of them. He's that good. And the Giants aren't going to trade that kind of player for the Rams' 26th pick in round number 1. So they want to break that down for a day or two. They can. And then, okay, we've exhausted that. So, again, we can't sit there and break down the A's buying a Coliseum land to see if they're going to build a new stadium. Danny didn't know that. Steve's never heard of it. So, as a result, let's break down the targeting scenario, and we'll figure out a way to, dance and ham and egg a 2-hour program, get 6 calls, I'll talk, you talk, get out, and leave nothing for Russo. So, I mean, that we have to, so we're going to break down targeting. We haven't even seen the rule yet, for crying out loud. It's March 28th, the next football game that anybody, including Torrey. You think Torrey's watching preseason football in August? The next game that Steve Torrey will look at and read about and discover will be week 1 of the NFL Sunday Drive, when he's sitting there in front of 8 little screens with Bill Leckis without sound in a little corner screen figuring out the Buffalo Colts game. That's the next time that Steve Torrey will pay any attention to football. But he's worried that Danny can't break down again certain baseball teams when Steve's chomping at the bit. So we got issues there. 19 in front of the hour. We continue. Mad Dog.